Hello, everyone. It's Monday. I thought I would come outside today. It's nice. I'm trying to take care of myself. Vitamin D is supposed to be good, sunlight is supposed to be good. I have discovered, I don't know if you can see this, I do this twice a day, 8 ounces. Um, I even do I suck these. Anybody who takes that seriously, I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't do it. But we act as if all of this came out of the blue. And for most of us, the pandemic really did come out of the blue. We had no idea the amount of damage that could be caused by a pandemic. But there were people in this country and around the world who knew precisely what was going to happen. They predicted it, they were paid. That's how they spend their lives. They're paid to think about these things. They are both in private practice as well as in government service. And they knew. In fact, my neighbor gave me this issue of Foreign Affairs from July and August 2005. And it's an astonishing read. You can get it online, and it'll blow your mind because there are three long articles in that journal that describe almost measure by measure, step by step, what was likely to take place one day, inevitably, with the eruption of a pandemic. They predicted that it would start from China. They pointed out that wet markets are the perfect place for a virus capable of jumping species from animal species to human species. They predicted that our country and the world would scramble for supplies. They said there would be major shortages, including of soap, food, paper. They predicted the shutting of international travel. They predicted that commerce and trade would be devastated. They said entire workplaces would be shut down to limit human to human spread, including, they said back in 2005, theaters, public facilities, schools. They concluded that in short order, the world economy would shut down. They predicted the unique vulnerabilities of the United States. They said that hospitals would be unable to cope with a sudden surge of ill people. They predicted that virtually every part of protective gear, every element of protective gear would be in short supply. They predicted that healthcare workers would get sick and die at the rate of everybody else, or they suggested even a higher rate. And they predicted dead bodies would soon outstrip the ability to process them. And they offered a plan. You can read it yourself here in Foreign Affairs. They offered a plan. This was 15 years ago. They pointed out that politics breeds short-sightedness, and that therefore they suggested that pandemic planning must begin now. There must be a plan of preparedness, of coordination between the medical community, medical suppliers, food providers, and transportation systems. They recommended stockpiling huge amounts of food and protective gear. So all of this was predicted. Not only predicted, they knew, the scientists who spend their lives studying this knew basically what would unfold. And it is in fact unfolding precisely as they described it. So why, despite the fact that the medical community did know the threat of a pandemic, why were we not prepared? Why are we experiencing what we are experiencing now? I want to suggest three reasons. First, the human brain, we are hardwired to take seriously short-term threats, but not long-term threats. We don't do well with threats beyond the horizon, where we believe that these threats are likely to materialize at some long future date. Human beings do much better with immediate threats that they can see, that they can feel, that they can touch. Second, I want to suggest to you, it's the Drano Man problem. We've paid a huge price in this country for inept political leadership for a very long time. This constant polarization, this constant political warfare intended to gin up the base, that we are now seeing this intense cultural clash, cultural warfare, even in the teeth of this pandemic. We've seen a hollowing out of many parts of this country that has been reduced to magical thinking. Try disinfectant from the inside. Try chloroquine. What do you have to lose? It turns out that we squandered in this country 2 full months. What a catastrophe. What did we think? That American exceptionalism would prevent us from undergoing what we saw was happening around the world? In Italy, in Spain, in China? Why? Why would it have spared us? Because we're Americans? The truth is, hardly anyone looks to the current federal government for specific medical guidelines. I don't even know if you even watch anymore these daily White House briefings, except for the few morsels of relevant scientific information distributed by the scientists and the experts. It didn't have to be this way. Look at some of the governors who are excelling in this state of emergency. Look around the world. Look at some of the other countries that have dealt extraordinarily well with this virus. Look at Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, South Korea, Germany. All have responded much better than we have during these days of pandemic. And I wonder all the time, many of them are led by women. I wonder if it actually does make a difference. Their governments are trusted. Their experts are listened to. They allow data to drive their decisions. And the third reason that I want to suggest to you that we are undergoing this in a state of underpreparedness is our misplaced priorities. We've subjected short-term profit to long-term gain. Rather than planning and stockpiling protective equipment, it's all about weekly, monthly, quarterly profit, so that the U.S., this incredible manufacturing force, this force that immediately converted to industrial strength, that won the war, that defeated Germany, that defeated Japan, we can't even produce enough swabs, enough gloves, masks. What's wrong with us? This inability to produce our way out of our problems is un-American. In many places around the world, we have become either laughing stocks or even worse. They pity us. We are now the ones receiving ventilators and PPE from donor countries who feel sorry for us. This pandemic has not created these problems, but it has exposed them. We see now much more clearly what has already existed in this country and some of the hollowing out, the deterioration that was happening right under our eyes that we either allowed to occur or we preferred not to look at it all. We're still an exceptionally strong country, founded on noble principles, with a type of academic, research, industrial, and commercial excellence that changed the world and can change it again. And these American strengths eventually will defeat the virus, no matter what local and national leadership is presented to us during these periods. And when we emerge, we have to attend to some of the rot that has been exposed in American society. We have to restore our moral health. Now is the time, as we're recovering our physical health, to recover this American genius of resilience, ingenuity, and the pursuit of excellence. We need to plan now for an American rebirth, a new beginning, as the November elections inch closer every day. These are the issues that we need to contemplate deeply.